Hey everyone, so it took me about 3 weeks to play the most promising games from the Palestine Bundle, and now I am starting to feel like I can make some sort of decent recommendations list. Even if getting through them all will still probably take me years, so do feel free to accompany me on this journey by subscribing to the channel. As doing a proper hidden gems video would take ages for that many games, I felt like getting the video out now in this format is probably the better idea. So, weird streaming style talking video for you, I'm really sorry, I hope you don't mind. So if you have the bundle, here are some absolutely fantastic games that you really should check out. And if you didn't get the bundle, you can still check out these games individually, and you can still support the UNWRA with a donation to help Palestine directly. First up, honorable mention for Liyla and the Shadows of War. It isn't mechanically among the best games in the bundle, but the realization of what transpires in Palestine is hitting quite hard, and it is worth to let the horror of that really sink in. The second honorable mention goes to Good Lookin Home Cookin by Toadhouse Games, whose director Alana was directly in charge of organizing the Palestine Bundle. Thank you so much for the time and effort that you put into this, Alana. We know that was a lot of work and a lot of stress, and we are immensely thankful for it. The game itself is a visual novel that provides some background for the characters of the game that they are currently working on, and excels at showing human emotions and connections in a very real way. We do need more games that depict us that way, and it is a fantastic example of how that might look like, and I am really looking forward to their bigger game release, which might happen 2022, I believe. Alright, on to the real list. Ossuary is incredibly weird. It's a top-down adventure game in a world where you have no idea what's happening, and you have no idea what you actually need to do or what the people around you suspect of you. And that also flows over into the mechanics and the quests of the game, and it's absolutely fantastic. It is insane. It is very spiritual, and also like very philosophical. And I absolutely recommend checking it out for how different it is. Number 49, Sokobond. There might be a few block pushing games in this whole recommendations list, and as I said before, I'm not the biggest fan of block pushing games that are just the same as every other game that I already played in this genre. Sokobond is fantastic because it not only uses a very intriguing theme with molecules as the creation for the puzzle solutions, but it also has some really interesting solutions that come up from that based on how you are connecting those atoms together. And it is absolutely a brainbuster and lovely. If you love puzzle games, you should absolutely check this out. Number 48, before I forget. It is a walking simulator about slowly forgetting the treasured things in our life. And even though the game isn't terribly surprising, they absolutely hit the nail on the head with how they presented the theme and how they showed you through the emotions and experiences that a person might have that experiences that. And it was incredibly touching. Highly recommended if you're in for this type of experience.
The Andromeda Galaxy. That's 2.65 million light years away. My Liyla auntie used to tell me the stories of the gods and the stars, but I can't really remember them now.
47, Cosmic Express. It is not among the hardest puzzle games in this list, but it is very delightful, very quick and snazzy to play, and also super easy to pick up. You need to create these train tracks where you can pick up customers and get them to their destinations, and the system is super simple but does allow for some challenges later on. If you enjoy the style of this and you're in for puzzle games in general, definitely recommend it to check it out. 46, Lucky Landlord. This is one of the weirdest games that really surprised me because it looks very simple with its spinning mechanic, but it's incredibly addicting to find the right combinations to maximize your money output. Very fun. Don't start playing this if you need to go to bed soon. Switch and Shoot is an incredibly addicting little shoot 'em up that you just use one button with, and that one button steers your ship and shoots at the same time, so you actually need to relearn how you are navigating those games. Very hard to wrap your head around in the beginning, but once you do, the high score hunt is incredibly satisfying. '44, Jotun. It is a top-down adventure game with a Norse mythology theme that they absolutely nailed. Like, I cannot explain to you how evocative it feels to explore this world and what the developers came up with for that theme. The boss fights are incredibly challenging, so you might want to prepare yourself for a bit of frustration on that, but absolutely fantastic. '43, Long Gone Days is a game that I have no idea why not more people are talking about it, to be honest. It's a classic RPG with a super unique and original theme and idea for its world building. As you are in this militaristic dystopia, and you're trying to explore what the people around you are up to. Fantastic, absolutely check it out. One of the best RPGs I've played in a long time.
This is Unbeatable, a game where music
42, Unbeatable. Not much more to say about this other than it being an absolutely fantastic rhythm game. It has crazy style, good music, and it's just really fun to play. Like, there's not much more to say about this. If you enjoy the genre, then this is an absolutely no-brainer to check out.
enemies come at the same time in both lanes. Sometimes enemies need more than one hit. Sometimes they need a whole bunch of hits. And sometimes you need to hold down one button while hitting the
41, Vektor 2089. This is one of my not-so-secret favorites of all the bundle games I played in the Palestine Bundle and in the Racial Justice Bundle. It is just a racing game, but the driving mechanics are so incredibly tight and so satisfying that it's really hard for me to put this down once I start playing it and once I have a few people challenging me for some times. It's just crazy good. As a racing game, one of the best I ever played. '40, Anodyne. It's basically a Zelda inspired game, but what really sets it apart is what it does with its story and mechanics over the course of its playtime. If you enjoy gameplay mechanics that are Zelda, but you want more surprises and more different ideas that really still manage to get you, then this is an easy recommendation for you. '39, Milkmaid of the Milky Way. This just might be me unfairly ignoring the adventure game genre lately a bit, especially in the indie sector, but Milkmaid of the Milky Way was probably one of the best adventure games I've played in a long time. It starts out really simple, but manages to build up this grand feeling of adventure over its playtime. and has all the hallmarks of the classics of the genre. Very good. .38 Beglitched is another super weird game that is technically a match 3 puzzle game, but manages to iterate on its puzzle formula quite a bit, and you need to really rethink how you are playing this type of game, which I absolutely love if games manage to do that. Fantastic. .37 Silicon Zeros will definitely not be for everyone watching this video, because it's a very, very, let's call it dry programming game, but for the people who are really into this type of thinking and challenges, it is among the most challenging games in the genre, and absolutely satisfying to figure out. But yeah, if it's not a game that will win you over if you're not already invested in these type of games. .36V. It is a classic action platformer that I've played what feels like a million years ago, and I honestly would have not thought that it would still hold up all these years later. But it's absolutely fantastic with its Metroidvania structure and world exploration and very challenging levels. Rank 35 is Luna. It's not the deepest game that I played, but sinking into its sights and sounds is so incredibly satisfying and relaxing that it was really hard not to fall in love with the visuals and sounds that this game put in front of me. So if you need a relaxing time, this is the game. Rank 34 is OG, so no, my rabbits are gone. If you know the Apes Odyssey games, then you know exactly what to expect. You need to basically guide the rabbits with commands to save spaces. And the game actually manages to have some really cool and unique ideas on top of the formula that I already knew from the older games. I was really surprised by how much I ended up loving this game. .33 is Cityglitch, which is a puzzle game completely restrained by its 5x5 metrics, and the resulting puzzle games in a very simple layout are so incredibly smart that I was basically in awe every level at what they came up with. 32 Sidewords. I really love word games, so I might be a little bit biased on that one. But I have never seen a game that had this type of idea where you need to combine rows and columns into the words that you need to make fit for the level solution. And I really had a hard time to stop playing this. 31 Horizon Vanguard is technically a VR game, but don't let it scare you away, because I didn't play it in VR either, and it is just an incredibly fun action game where I really couldn't stop trying to improve myself, trying to get through the levels. It's also very challenging, so you might want to know what you're in for. But if that's what you want, then this is a crazy good time. Rank 30 is Sundered. It is a Metroidvania with procedurally generated levels that also sometimes manage to feel a bit too repetitive and barren, but other than that, the atmosphere, again by the Jotun devs, they absolutely nailed it. The combat is very fun, the exploration and the upgrades are very satisfying, so if you enjoy Metroidvanias, no brainer. .29 Rising Dusk is a game that taught me that reminded me that I really shouldn't judge a game by its first 5 minutes. Technically, the game wants you to avoid collecting coins, which is very unique, but that also really annoyed me in the beginning. but how the game is structuring its levels around and how it defies your expectations of how these games can be played and replayed was absolutely insanely well done. Very good game, cool art style. Highly recommend checking it out. #28, Plunge, is a sliding puzzle game that really surprised me because I have never played a sliding puzzle game that only focuses on that mechanic that I liked, and I absolutely fell in love with this game, and I couldn't stop playing it for hours. It also has some roguelite exploration mechanics, so you do have upgrades and more worlds to explore, and it's just an incredibly well done package that really isn't shown well in a single screenshot. #27, Legend of Hand. This game is weird. Like, it is an adventure game, it's an RPG, it's a puzzle game, it's sort of action mini games. Like, it really feels like the passion project of someone who had an idea, a vision of a world that he wanted to show the people. And even though the screenshots look a bit crude, after sinking into this game for a few minutes, it is insane how much atmosphere and how much character you get from the care and love that has been put into this game and these visuals. And #5, Cook Serve Delicious 2. You probably already know this one as it's been out for quite a while, and the Cook Serve Delicious series has 3 parts, I believe, by now. Super fun. It's just crazy how evocative it can be to run a restaurant and to make sure that the food arrives on time, and how stressful, to be honest. Crazy package, a lot of content. You will play this for a long time. Alright, so that was 25 games that I would really recommend you to check out. There are 25 more games that I liked even more than these, even though those were already fantastic games. So do check around for the second part of this video that I will probably put up in a few days, maybe, hopefully. Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. Any of the games that I just showed you that you didn't know about yet and that sound really interesting to you, I would love to know which those are, and yeah, fill the comments. If you want to see more of those videos, a subscribe, follow, whatever on YouTube is incredibly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.